Hello, and welcome to Accounting 210 Legal Environment. This will be running during the summer session, July of 2018, of course, at Susquehanna University. My name is Dr. Michelle DeMary, and together we will be exploring the intersection or the interchange, the relationship between law and the business world over the next 4 weeks. This video is about a 12-minute video that is intended to review the syllabus with you, kind of the same thing one would do on the first day of class. I hope this does not replace the reading of the syllabus, which I think is also an important element. I will only highlight some things and will assume that you will read the full syllabus yourself as the class begins. You will note some important things up here first. My email address, my cell phone number where you can contact me at any time. I will also be available every Monday and every Wednesday at the times listed on the syllabus if you want to be sure to contact me and that I will be available. However, I do review my email pretty frequently, and I promise that I will respond to you within 12 hours and probably less time. If you send a request to me, I would only ask that you do the same, that if I ask you for, if I send you an email that requires a response, that you too will respond in a timely manner. I don't think I can emphasize enough the fact that this is a 4-week class, and in those 4 weeks we're going to cover 14 weeks worth of material, which means we do a lot each week and we do it pretty quickly. So if you run into any problems at all, you need to let me know as soon as possible because you can't afford to fall behind. While you can certainly do all of the work as quickly as possible, you cannot be late on any of the assignments. And each week we will cover 3 chapters, and the material from those 3 chapters must be completed by the end of each week. There are no exceptions, no changes to the timelines. So it's really important that you stay on top of things from the start. Okay. To that end, I want to make sure that you know who to contact if you have any trouble with technology. We'll be using an application called MindTap, which comes from the publishing company of Cengage, where we're getting our textbook from. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a moment, but there is a contact information on our Blackboard site. In case you have questions, they should be able to respond to you. I'd be your first point of contact if you have questions about the source of the class material, the assignments, but if it comes to the technology, you're much better talking to the people at Cengage about MindTap or to our own Office of Technology at Susquehanna, particularly Marie Hassinger, who's the expert on Blackboard, and she'd be more than happy to help you with any questions you have on that as well. Okay, so if you've got questions about the class material, please do contact me. If they're technology questions, you can certainly contact me, but I would probably simply put you in touch with either the folks at Cengage or with Marie anyway, so you might as well skip me and go right to the source of the problem. A couple of other technology notes too that you should probably read and be aware of as we move through the class. Now, as you see, we have one textbook for the class. It looks like this. It's called Essentials of the Legal Environment Today. I have, in fact, ordered a copy for you from the Susquehanna University bookstore. You can also get it off the Cengage website directly. I ordered a copy that is not bound. That is a 3-ring binder, but it was a lot cheaper. The most important element for you to pay for is, in fact, the access code that you will get, through which you will be accessing a lot of the assignments and materials for this class. So you really have to be able to buy that access code in order to be able to participate fully in the class. Okay. You have here the course overview and learning objectives. I strongly encourage you to read them. They should make some sense to you now. The ideal is that by the end of the semester, they will make a lot more sense to you. The learning objectives include both the things that I want you to learn from this class, as well as those elements that will fulfill both the interdisciplinary and ethics intensive components of Susquehanna's central curriculum. And if any of those, some of you may know that this course covers those as well, and so those learning goals are included in the learning objectives. There's a privacy statement that I'm required to put in my syllabus for our accreditation purposes, so there you go. You can go ahead and read it. Assignments and exams. There are a variety of assignments on a 1,000-point scale that I will show you in a moment, but there is also an expectation about attendance and participation, which may seem a little unusual for an online course, but I think it's important that at least once a week we try to touch base and see each other face to face. I don't know that this will work with all 14 of us at the same time, or 15 of us, So I will schedule 2 or even 3 sessions if necessary in order to make sure that we will be able to meet together at least once a week. There are bonuses for participating, there are penalties for not participating, and you can see that in the points that I will assign, either to deduct from your final grade or to add to your final grade. If you have any, we will be using, I think, an app called Blue Jeans that's available through Susquehanna, which is pretty intuitive and pretty easy to use. I hope that we'll be able to meet that once a week and have just a little bit more conversation about some of the materials that you're reading, about the videos that you're viewing, and about some of the perhaps news items that will be happening about the courts and law and business during the week. Now, there are 1,000 points for the class. It's the same as a 100-point scale, only without the decimals. Those things that are starred will be accessible through the MindTap site. Perhaps at this moment, no, I'll show you that in a moment. First, you will have a weekly quiz, a quiz at the end of each chapter, effectively. So there are 12 chapters, meaning that you will have 12 quizzes. I will take the top 10 scores. Each quiz is worth 10 points. Please bear in mind that these must be completed by the end of each week. So that chapters 1, 2, and 3 we cover in week 1. The hypotheticals for chapters 1, 2, and 3 must be done by Friday at 11 p.m., which is the cutoff point. Okay. You will also have 4 exams, each exam worth 100 points, 1 exam per week. Each exam will have 50 questions, and it will cover all 3 chapters that were in fact covered that week. I would note on the hypotheticals that you can in fact use your book. They're unlimited in time, and you get 2 chances to take those. Okay. For the exams, you get 1 hour to complete 50 questions, which I think is reasonable. You can use your book, but you only get 1 chance. Okay, you can't retake it once you've taken the test once. The Yellow Dig, I don't know if any of you have used Yellow Dig on Blackboard before or not, but it's a chance for us to interact and have some conversation asynchronously, meaning, at different times. And I will ask you to post information, predominantly news items that deal with courts and business and law, and then to write an analysis of it, and to comment on the analyses of others. So you will get 10 points for each posting that I think has more than 75 words in it, and 5 points for each response that has 45 words in it. I would ask that you not just repeat what's in the article. We can all read and we know what's in the article. I'd like a little bit of your analysis, why you think this is important, what it means, how does it connect to the material that we're covering in class. This really is a chance for me to be able to pull in information from the real world and connect it to the things that we are in fact studying in class, so you can see how very integral the law is to the business world around us in the United States today. Okay. You have to write 4 response papers to videos that you will find on MindTap. These videos deal with often either interdisciplinary or ethical questions that come up in the operation of business, showing the line between law and ethics. Where is that line similar? Where is it different? And how would you resolve those questions? Each video is only about 3 to 6 minutes long, pretty short to watch. And then I have posted both on the link itself as well as on a separate document on Blackboard the potential question that I want you to answer in response to the video. Okay, I'll show that more to you in a moment when we look at the MindTap site. There's one other assignment that you'll have due the last week of class. You can do it at any other point in time, but it will be due by the last Friday of class. I will give you a more complete summary of that by the end of the first week of class. I want to tweak it a little bit more as I've been thinking about it in ways that will be more helpful to you and will get you to think about some of the questions that I think are most important in understanding how the work of the Supreme Court affects the world of business around us. So stay tuned for more on that. I will post that by the end of our first week of class. And last but not least, you're expected to do some sort of field study on your own where you will visit some sort of a law-related site over the course of the 4 weeks. Spend half a day watching a court session, spend an hour interviewing an attorney. It's fairly fully explained here on the syllabus, and I'm happy to talk to each one of you one-on-one about potential sites for you to be able to visit. We can discuss this more when we have our synchronous meeting, when we have our class session meeting during the first week of classes. But I think the assignment, as you read it here, is pretty fully described. So that's the last 100 points. And of course, there's the grading scale. All of the information is available on Blackboard as of Monday morning, July 9th at 1 a.m. I think I'll probably make the Blackboard site available before then, but the materials through MindTap won't be available till 1 a.m. on Monday, July 9th. I don't anticipate anybody's going to be logging on to do the work at 1 a.m., but I wanted it available for anybody who might be up early on Monday. Again, you are welcome to complete the work as quickly as possible, but remember that you can't fall behind. Each week there are assignments due, and they are due by 11 p.m. on that Friday, and there is no exception to that, so you must get them done. Okay? Assignments undone will result in a 0. Now let me show you the Blackboard site before I go through the syllabus, because what's on the Blackboard site is very much what you find for the rest of the syllabus, okay? I think when you log on, and I will make the site available to you in the next few moments, you will see, I think it will take you right to the content page, and there are a variety of things down here you will see. Yellowdig, this is the link that takes you to Yellowdig, where you will post news articles. As it takes us there in a moment, you will see that I've already posted one. I think that is about an important Supreme Court case that came down a couple of weeks ago. Fairly easy to understand. I already got my 10 points out of my 25 for this week because I posted an article and I wrote at least 75 words on it. You will also see here at the bottom there's a comment section. This is where you would comment. This looks very much like a Facebook post, so even somebody as old as I can understand it and work it. But if you have any trouble at all, please be in touch with Marie Hassinger in our IT department, and she'll be able to make sure that you can access this. Okay? Go back to our, there we go. Here's what MindTap looks like. I'm not positive yours will look the same. Oh, shoot. Okay, now we're back and I have found MindTap. You will note you could run into the same problem I did, which is that you need to allow pop-ups to occur for accessing MindTap, because when you click on it here in our Blackboard site, it will take you, it literally takes you out of Blackboard and into MindTap. You won't see that it happens pretty seamlessly, but you do need to allow pop-ups to occur. So this is what you will see in the, you can either look at it as you see in a list view, or you can look at it by a date view. Let me look at the list view for a moment for you. Under each unit, you will see the chapters that we cover, and then under each chapter, you will see there's a variety of materials for you to participate in. Read the chapter. You actually can, I think, get the full text if you click on here, or you can obviously read the hard copy that you have. You need to drop down, but there are worksheets for each chapter. These are not graded, they're just practice. It says 1 point because I have to allocate something, but it won't count toward any points. They really are a good chance, though, for you to think about the material that you've read and to test yourself to see how much you've learned. From a practical perspective, they can also be very helpful in preparing you for when you do your quiz, which is the brief hypothetical that happens at the end of each chapter, right? So the brief hypothetical is, in fact, your quiz. Those are worth 10 points, and it does count towards your grade, okay? Again, for Chapter 2, we have the same material. For Chapter 3, we'll see one thing added on. Read the chapter. We have our video exercise and our worksheets, okay? The worksheets are the same, but the video exercise it says 10 points allocated. I have to change this. The folks at Cengage were not responding very well during 4th of July week, so I'll get back and change that, because this is only practice. It does not count towards your grade. Let me rephrase that. The questions they ask after the video, which you're welcome to answer, and they're a good way to test your knowledge, do not count towards your grade. What will count is, you will see here, there's a question following the video. And once you watch the video, I want you to read the question and respond in a 1 to 2 page paper that you will send to me at the end of each week, okay? And then again, at the end of week 3, you see there's a test for chapters 1 to 3. The same thing will happen. Chapter 4 is part of the second week. Chapter 5 and 6 are part of the second week. Down here, you will see that, for instance, we skip chapters, jumps from 8 to 12, 13. There are 20 chapters in this text. Every one of them really is interesting and important, but unfortunately, I didn't think that it would be reasonable to have us do 20 chapters in 4 weeks, and so I had to pick and choose. Some of the chapters that we aren't covering are covered by other classes offered at Susquehanna, so you could explore them more fully. There's an environmental law class that is offered at Susquehanna. There's an international organizations in law class that is offered through the political science department at Susquehanna. There are increasing number of intellectual property classes and employment law classes that are offered through the business school at Susquehanna. So there are a variety of ways that you can add to this material. So I tried to pick and choose things that you might not necessarily get elsewhere. So this is in fact what your MindTap page looks like. Now if we go back to the Blackboard site, you will find here, and this is going to be identical to what you find in your syllabus, so that's why I wanted to review it here. You have here in week 1, but first a summary of the work for the week, and that is in fact what's in the syllabus. The things that are bolded are the things that are graded, but in order to do the things that are bolded, you probably need to do the rest of the things as well. You will see there are a couple places where there are videos. Those are videos that I've done that's separate from the ones where you're getting graded. That are helpful, both like this one that introduces you to the syllabus, as well as some background information that I think perhaps the text doesn't pull out as fully, that might be helpful to understanding the materials in the text, and I encourage you to view those as well, okay? And then, of course, underneath that, you will have anything that is not in MindTap, but which I have added for the class. So for instance, this video, video number 2, which is kind of a primer on U.S. government, and then the PowerPoint I've used for that, if that is in fact helpful to you, okay? That's the material that is covered in the syllabus. Over 4 weeks, we're going to cover an awful lot of stuff, but I think it's pretty interesting material on a very interesting topic. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you over the course of the next 4 weeks. Till we meet in person, thanks for your attention.